Give a by the way, it's pretty hot in Florida, right? So let's give a very hot and humid Florida welcome for Cozi Zuehlsdorff, Hazel, and the Northtown movies. All right, guys.
Hi.
So is this cool, guys? Did you recognize her? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I look a little older. I'm about to turn 17, so it's been a while.
What happened? Man, you grew up between the first movie and the second movie. Did you actually eat?
I know, yeah. I couldn't help it.
So who here watched the first movie but not the second movie? If you watched only the first movie, raise your hand. Did you recognize her? It's been like 5 years since we filmed the first movie,
It's been almost exactly 5 years since the first shoot,
But we had that one kid ask you the question about why did you look so much different between when she saw you last time. It's kind of cute, so, yeah. She actually ate for 3 years, so. All right, guys, so anyway, let's do this. We've already had some fun. We talked about a little bit about the movies, about what we do here. We talked about what was great from the staff perspective, what we got to see watch the movies, working with you guys, working with the cast and crew. Now let's learn about a little bit about Cozi. So Cozi, before we get into this, by the way, you guys got your questions ready, right? Get them ready? We'll do that in a few minutes. So just a little bit about who you are, where you're from, who is Cozi Zuehlsdorff, where are you from, do you have parents, what flavor gum do you choose, what size shoe do you wear, just that basic stuff that everybody wants to know.
You might be surprised to know I do have parents, yeah. It's really shocking.
There you go, guys. Close the shop.
Who would have thought? Yeah, well, I live in Orange County, which is like 2 hours south of Los Angeles. And obviously I live there with my parents and my sister Lacey, who's 20, and my dog Bandit. And we have a lot of fun.
You're hilarious dad, Scott.
My dad is really funny. He's where I get like my outgoingness and like my acting nature, and then my mom is where I get like my love of singing and my
the Z-Man, as I call him.
Yeah.
Your dad, so. All right, so let's talk about, by the way, in about 2 minutes, we'll do some questions, so guys get ready. But basically, how did you get involved in Dolphin Tale? We do this every time, but what was, for everybody out there, who wants to get involved in acting? Any aspiring actors out there? All right, quite a few, there you go.
So many today,
Check
yes.
it out. Yeah, I think
Go for it.
I think you being here probably encouraged them a little bit, so, but how did you get at age 12 into a major motion picture? What was the path for you?
Well, when I was like 8, does anybody here do musical theater? Okay, that's the best way to get into acting, I'll just say that, especially if you want to work on Disney Channel. A lot of the terms coincide and you learn a lot through musical theater. I found that to be definitely true. So I started in musical theater when I was probably 8. I didn't even want to be in a musical, but my mom was like, why don't you just try it? You might find it's fun. Because she could see that I kind of loved, entertaining and stuff. So she had me try out for Annie the musical locally, and I got Annie. I was one of the Annies that they chose. So then by that time that was when I got bit by the bug and I was like, oh, I want to do this forever. So I really just got addicted to live theater, and it really was just all about theater for me. But then I started kind of auditioning for some commercials, and then I got with an agency that really did TV and film, and probably, like, Dolphin Tale was probably like my 3rd audition for a movie. It happened so fast. I'm really grateful to the Lord. It just all came together, and I can't believe that my first movie is something that's so inspiring, so that 5 years later I'm still talking to everybody about it. It's pretty amazing.
And hopefully you'll be talking 25 years from now. So,
that would be awesome.
So the bottom line is, you came out, you did the movie, so I watched you and Nathan. I talked about you guys being 12 when the first movie came out, before you came out here. And I talked about what I did when I was 12, but when you're 12 years old, you're on the set, your first major motion picture. Now Nathan had done some other movies, and Nathan had acted with Brad Pitt before, people like that. Your first major motion picture, were you intimidated, excited, scared, or what was your emotions you had walking in, knowing it's a major motion picture, it's going to have Morgan Freeman, Ashley Judd, it's a big deal, and you're now in it. What was the emotion like?
Well, I remember, I think after I booked the movie, we found out who the big name actors were. Like, I had no idea before then that Harry was going to play my dad, and Morgan was going to be in it and everything. And so my parents told me, oh my gosh, Cozi, you're going to work with Harry Connick Jr. and Morgan Freeman and Ashley Judd and Chris Christopherson. And much like the looks on your guys' faces, you're like, who are they? Like, I had never seen Shawshank Redemption, I'm new in town. Like, I had never seen all these things. Harry's music wasn't on my playlist. Maybe now it is, but...
Oh, I'm not telling that.
But it wasn't before. No. And I'm actually serious. Like, it helped me not be so nervous, because when I first got into that, I just got to become friends with them. And then, now I'll see them on TV, and ever since then, it's been like, whoa. Especially Ashley, I think. I was really unfamiliar with her work, and then when I saw the movie, I was just so amazed and so grateful to be able to do a scene with her in Dolphin Tale 2, because the first one, we're in like one scene together and she basically like puts her arm around me, that's like it. So in the second one, to be able to work with her was just a really big gift. And so, yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking, but kind of pretty just normal. I was raised to be a really respectful person, so I was just really trying to be professional the whole time.
You know what's
Really
cool
trying to
is,
work hard.
what was neat is how down to earth, including you, how all the actors are. I remember seeing Harry on the first day of the set on the first Dolphin Tale. First time I met him, I gave him a little tour. This is Harry Connick Jr., right? Everybody knows who he is. And he's walking, yeah, all the women, there you go. And so he's walking around the CMA and he's shaking hands with everybody going, hey, I'm Harry Connick Jr. And we're going like, we know who you are. But it was a humble approach. It wasn't this, hey, I'm a big shot. And what the coolest thing for us was just that. I remember I saw Harry on tour. It was in 2011, the year the movie was released, April of 2011. So we'd already filmed, and the movie wasn't shown yet. And he was in concert in town. He stopped his concert for about 15 minutes and just talked about how great the Aquarium was. So just that humility from the cast and crew was really cool. So,
yeah, he's just awesome.
And all across, Morgan was great to work. I mean, it's great people, very kind. Cozi and Nathan are just down to earth. And I'm gonna say this, she can't say this. The guys, you're always looking for, my wife and I raised 4 kids. You're always looking for a positive role model for your kids. Well, Cozi and Nathan are that guys. They're not going to take your kids off a cliff. She can't say that, I can, so.
Well, all glory to God, but always,
but you do the right thing, that's important, so. All right, guys, first round of Q&As. You guys ready? So here's the deal, guys. You can ask any question you want. Just make sure it's kind of a real question. No, she doesn't live on Mars, but she might want to. But I also want some boy questions. So boys, I'm going to be looking at you guys. We need some boy questions also. So raise your hands. I'm going to walk around. I'll bring the mic to you, and we'll start up here. All right. Number 1, here you go.
How do you like being on the TV show Mighty Men?
There you go.
Oh, well, yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm on Disney XD's Mighty Men. I play Jordan.
Woo!
Love working on that show.
See all the looks? They're like,
Fun job.
you're on that. See all the looks?
It's a really fun job, especially the last episode I was in, where I got held hostage by the evil robot principal thing. That was really, really, really fun. And I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek just because you asked. In the next episode, I get to destroy a painting, and it was so much fun. I do this huge battle cry, and I just destroy it. So that's a really fun job because it's very different for me, Whereas on Liv and Maddie, when I played Ocean, it was very much more like, oh, I'm so sweet, and it wasn't very different for me to be kind of bubbly and happy like Hazel, and then in Mighty Men I get to be kind of like sassy. But on Liv and Maddie, fun fact, my character's name is Ocean. You guys know that? I was the girl with the braids. Yeah, she I knew the writers and the director and the producers, and so they wrote me on the show and named me Ocean because of Dolphin Tale and everything like that.
Who's watched Liv and Maddie? And Liv and Maddie is? All right. Who watched, hands down, who watched Mighty Men? Well, there you go, guys.
Oh,
And you're
cool.
also voice on another show.
Oh yeah, does anybody watch Sophia the First? I do some group vocals for that show with my best friends. We all booked the job together, and so we all sing on it.
Isn't that cool? Good opening question. All right, who's next? Who wants to ask a question really bad? I'm going for the guy now. Here you go. You're not taking a nap, are you?
Will you make a Dolphin Tale 3?
Yeah, Cozi, are you gonna make a Dolphin Tale 3?
Well, I've got to get my producers on board and, get the studio to green light it and everything.
$100 million.
Well, okay, all we can say right now is that there is something coming that will be released, or like the idea will be released by the end of this year.
Well, let's do a poll here. So if we did a Dolphin Tale 3, would you watch it? How about if we did a TV series? Wouldn't that be cool? It's like Cozi said. So we'll announce something later on this year. We're working on some ideas right now. We're going to keep telling the Dolphin Tale type stories in one form or another, maybe even in a couple ways. You never know. So wouldn't that be cool? All right, next question. Somebody here was like going crazy to ask. Here we go, right here, front row again.
Did you have fun working on Dolphin Tale?
I had so much fun working on Dolphin Tale, and even more fun on Dolphin Tale 2. You know why? Because the cast, which is all the actors, for those of you guys who don't know, the cast, we all, you know how it takes a while to get to know somebody, and then after a week or two of knowing them, you're like, you know what, you're awesome. Well, I feel like the first movie is when we established with everybody, I like you, we're gonna be friends. And then by the second movie, we already knew we were friends, and so we just got to hang out the whole time. It was really, really fun. like usually you hear movie sets with big name actors and it's like, oh, there was big cast feuds and like people being really mad and having big egos and stuff, but we just like, we're all best friends pretty much. I mean, really, like family dinners at night, game nights on the weekend. We went to Busch Gardens together.
No Sawyer days, no fist fights, no?
No.
All right, okay, cool. Actually, you had the Hope and Winter shirt on, so here you go, you get the question.
How many movies has Hazel been in?
How many movies have you been in?
That's a good question. Well, actually, Dolphin Tale and Dolphin Tale 2 are my movies, and then I work more on TV, for Disney Channel, like we already mentioned, and I guest starred on a drama
TV
for TNT, and then
TV
commercials. And then right now I'm really working on music as well. So I've released one kind of mini album, and then I'm working on some new music for you guys. By the way, if you check iTunes in like 2 weeks, there'll be a new single that's just for you guys, so I'm
So
excited.
since we're on music, can we talk about music for a second?
Sure.
Why not, right? So this is Cozi's first CD called Originals. What did you guys know when you listened to Dolphin Tale? Who watched Dolphin Tale 2 again, right? The closing credits, what was the song in it? Anybody remember what it is? A song called Brave Souls. That was Cozi's song. There you go. And she wrote it and sang it. So that was Cozi singing, guys, in Dolphin Tale 2. And maybe you didn't even know it. How cool is that, right? So Cozi's launched a music career. She can't say this, I can. She's ridiculously talented. I mean, she's a level 9 pianist, I believe. Can I say it? Is that what it is? Kind of give or take. She's an incredible artist, songwriter, performer. And Harry Connick Jr. is kind of mentoring her in some ways. How cool is that, right? But you need to buy her music. It is amazing. I told her she'll be on the Grammys within 3 years. That's my goal for her. But no pressure at all. Anyway, so how did you get interested in music? What's the history of you and music? And I know your mom and dad, I think, sang at one point.
Yeah, my mom and dad were in a band together actually. My mom was an upscale wedding singer, and then and she would sing in upscale restaurants, and my dad walked in the door one day and was like, and then they got married, and then they were in a band together, and so music's been in my life, even before I was born, and so, yeah.
She mentioned Annie. Can you guys see her being Annie, by the way? Absolutely can, you bet. All right, a couple more questions. Here you go, right back here. Did you ask one yet? Okay, here you go.
What was it like when you knew that Bethany Hamilton was going to play on Dolphin Tale 2?
That's a great question. Yeah.
I actually heard rumors of it about 6 months before we shot the second movie, so it was kind of like, when I heard about it, it was like, that is a no-brainer, of course, what a perfect idea, you know what I mean? And then working with her was just awesome. She's so nice. She's so nice. So she was great to work with. And what was funny is, Nathan and I trained for months before shooting to do all the underwater sequences. She never trained a day in her life to work with the dolphins. Jumped right in, and of course is better than us in just 2 seconds. Like, they asked her, can you swim all the way down to the bottom, which is like 12 feet, and just stay there for a little while, then circle up with Winter? Could you try that? She's like, sure, I'm game. You know her, she's like, nothing's gonna stop her. Swims right down to the bottom and gets it in the first take. We're like, we're just gonna go home because you're so good.
If you don't know who Bethany Hamilton is, she is the young lady who lost her arm to shark attack, which is in the headlines, by the way, right now. When she was 13 years old, she's now 24, and she just got married, had a baby about a month ago, by the way.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so biased. Do you guys
story.
want to hear a crazy story? Oh, were you gonna tell?
Okay, that's fine.
No.
So what happened is she lost her arm, but what's amazing about her story is she is a professional surfer. Even today, with one arm, guys, she's a competitive professional surfer. There's a movie called Soul Surfer out about her life. Who watched Soul Surfer? Can you see this? In 2011, if you've not watched the movie Soul Surfer, it's about her life, watch it. It's an amazing movie, and it came out 6 months before her Dolphin Tale. So here's what happened. I called her agent in that year and tried to get her to come visit us before we even got her in Dolphin Tale 2, but she was too busy. But if you haven't watched Soul Surfer, amazing movie, watch it.
And here's the crazy thing I was gonna say. She was on set to shoot her cameo, her role where she's talking, I'm so psyched to be here, guys, and everything. When she shot it, she went up to the producers and she's like, do you know what's crazy? And we're like, and everybody's like, what? She's like, I'm shooting it on the 10-year anniversary of my shark attack. And we're like, oh, okay. Like, she's so chill about it and so peaceful about it and so brave. It was like amazing that she was just kind of like, oh, this is cool.
Her favorite word was stoked. She was always stoked.
She was always stoked. I'm stoked, guys.
All right, another question, then we'll do a few more things here. All right, another Hope and Winter. If you're wearing a Hope and Winter shirt, you get to ask your question today. How about that?
Can you sing for us?
Let me answer that for you. Well, here's the deal, guys. When she's a really good singer, so when you do that, you have to warm up. She's not ready for that, so we're probably not gonna do it. But you can buy this. and she sings, how many songs? 8, 7, 8? What's on it? 7?
Like 7 on there,
Seven
but then Brave
songs.
Souls isn't on there.
But we
The
did
girls
have, she had her first concert here, guys, in April across the street. You just missed that. So I don't want to ask her to sing live, but
You're so sweet though.
would you like me to sing? No, you don't want me to sing.
Sing.
No. All right, guy question, here you go.
Would you rather be an actress or a veterinarian?
That is such a good question. I've never been asked that.
That is a good question.
I think I would rather be an actress because I don't like to see animals in pain, you know? But I love animals. I love animals. What about you? Which would you rather be, an actor or a veterinarian?
NBA
You can't
player.
decide.
NBA
You could be
player.
an acting veterinarian. You could act, and the only roles you would take would be to play a veterinarian. It's not
Pretty limited career, I
compromise
guess.
me.
So yeah,
Yeah.
specialized.
She wouldn't work that much. Yeah.
You don't know what to be doing that. So, all right. So, Cozi, let's talk about. So, Dolphin Tale came out. You guys liked the first movie, right? You liked the first movie, right? Yeah. Check it out. All right. So, did you expect a second movie? We talk about this every time. So here's the deal, guys. There's a lot of movies based on real life. We just talked about Soul Surfer as one example. Every year, I watched the movie this weekend. I think I saw 3 previews before the movie of real life movies. So there's a lot of movies put out today inspired by real life stories, right? You seen that? Our filmmaking partner is Alcon Entertainment, and they also work with Warner Brothers. Alcon has a lot of good movies. Their most successful movie all time is a movie you might recognize called, with Sandra Bullock, where she won the Academy Award for that role, called The Blind Side. You guys hear The Blind Side? So here's what happened, guys. Here's the history. So the Dolphin Tale comes out, and I'm throwing out ideas to Andrew Koso, who's the studio head in Broadway, said, hey, how about doing another movie? And they're like, Dave, we don't do that. You don't have sequels to real life stories. It's never happened in Hollywood history, guys, ever before. There's never been a sequel to a movie based in real life. And the reason is why? Because if you have a story that's compelling enough to be greenlit, you can't hold, there's thousands of stories every day, guys, that never get made movies, that pass around Hollywood. You have to have a really strong, compelling, singular story, otherwise it won't be made into a movie, right? You can't hold anything back. So when you do a real life story, you tell it all, right? So and their point was, Dave, if we could have done a sequel, The Blind Side would have had a sequel, because it was a great movie, made $250 million in domestic box office. That would have been a sequel. We didn't have anything else, we told the story. So here's what happened, guys, and Cozi got to see this. This is crazy, and we have a film called Winner the Dolphin That Can. That's a documentary that sells a lot around here. It's the real life story behind both movies. It's called Winner the Dolphin That Can. You can buy it in our store. It's 90 minutes long, and Cozi hosts it. We tell this whole story. Let me give the Cliff Notes version. So Dolphin Tale, movies don't go quickly, do they? They're like a long process.
No, yeah, like Dolphin Tale 1 took about 4 years from start to finish to pre-produce, shoot, and then post-produce.
So they don't go quick. So it just so happened the last day, listen, this is crazy, guys, listen to this. The last day of filming for Dolphin Tale, the first movie, was Saturday, December 11th, 2010. So on that day, we're going to be wrapped, right? And we're having a going-away party called the Wrap Party next door at the Island Way Grill, the restaurant right next to the Aquarium. Have you seen that restaurant? It's called Island Way Grill. We had a going-away party called a Wrap Party. It's a W-A-R-P Wrap Party, not an R-A-P Wrap Party, yeah. I don't rap very good, so. So we planned the party that night, right? So here's what happened, guys. So we finished shooting about 5 o'clock that day, and within 10 minutes of wrapping filming, I got a call from one of my MLCare team members saying there's a dolphin being rescued on the East Coast. Long story short, guys, Hope arrived during the wrap party that night, the day we finished Dolphin Tale, and that was the real life element we used. Her life, her rescue, her relationship with Winter was the real life element we used for Dolphin Tale 2. To have for the first time in Hollywood history a sequel to a real life story. So we finished one
That's
film.
why we have Sawyer's going away party. That's why we shoot a going away party, to make it as real life as possible, because we were all saying goodbye. And in the movie, we're saying goodbye to Sawyer, and we shot it in the same restaurant that we actually had our real life wrap party. Like, everything's as true to life as possible.
The timing was just crazy, literally, guys. So we wrapped Dolphin Tale, and we get handed very providentially that night the real life element we utilized for the new movie 3 years later. Is that a cool story? There's a lot more to that. Watch the movie, it's pretty cool. So we get to the second movie. So Cozi, what was it like coming back? First movie was a learning experience. You were 12 years old. You developed some relationships. What was it like coming back a second time for you?
It was just even more fun, quite honestly. It was great. It was hard work, and for the first time, I was part of the underwater ballet, so that was a lot of rigorous training beforehand, and then shooting it was a little tougher, but it was awesome. I actually enjoyed shooting the second one even more than the first one, just because we were all so close.
You guys like the second
I
movie?
loved shooting both movies.
But a great movie? It's a great movie, wasn't it? So everybody did a great job. So let me tell you a couple stories about, I know Cozi and Nathan, the cast, would have come back no matter what. But there's one part of what everybody saw happen post Dolphin Tale, the first movie, that really blew everybody away. We knew what was going to happen, we didn't know to what extent. Because I started pushing Winter's Story and promoting it around the world in about 2006. And it became a big story long before the movie ever hit. We had all kinds of Today Show segments and so on. But the movies blew up to the world. Here's what happened, guys. The weekend Dolphin Tale came out, so that the weekend the first movie came out, we got about 10,000 emails, approximately 10,000 emails, just that weekend. Guys, we've had hundreds of thousands since. Emails, calls, visits, letters, social media postings, and most of it went something like this. It was normally a mom saying, let me tell you the story of what Winter's overcoming story did for my child, and fill in the blank. They're going through chemotherapy, they're autistic, they have a prosthetic leg, they have a cleft palate, special needs, you name it, all the way down the list, and just floods of letters and calls about how kids connected to Winter's overcoming story all around the world in nearly every country. You got flooded with those kind of calls and letters. And it's very inspiring. And so when we did Dolphin Tale 2, I think a big motivating factor for all of us was we have a responsibility to keep telling this story wherever we can. Because we've seen today, we'll have dozens of visits of kids today, that have some life-threatening illness. It happens every day. We do a lot of Make-A-Wish visits, for example. And Cozi's got to see some of this. And it's very inspiring work, and it's very emotional many times. But I want to tell you one brief story. I can tell you thousands of stories, but I want to end with one, and then Cozi can close. We had and I'm just picking a story, I have thousands I can tell. There's a young boy that has cystic fibrosis. And he's 9 years old, he lives in North Carolina, and his mom, and he was given 3 or 4 weeks to live by the doctors. Okay, and his mom, the doctor said, take him home, make it comfortable. And I'll try to get through this. Take him home and make it comfortable, right? So the mom said, ain't gonna do that. This young boy had just been so connected to Winter's story. She took her mom, which is his grandma, hopped in a car from North Carolina, drove all night to come see us. And he sleeps 22 hours a day. He's only awake 2 hours a day, struggles, and when he's awake, he's barely awake. But long story short, so we brought him down, right? And what we did is his dad's a firefighter. So we had the Clearwater Fire Department come out with their trucks. So when he drove up, he got to see all the fire trucks and stuff. It just lit him up. Well, long story short, I'm inside. I didn't get a chance to see him drive up because he came when I didn't expect. So my first chance to see him, I heard his whole story. I thought I'd walk out and see a young boy who just could barely even be awake. I walk out and I go to the dolphin pool. He's already in the water with Winter. He is lit up. I'm like, well, this can't be the kid. This can't be the kid I just heard about. He's swimming and he's just like, this can't be the child I heard about. Well, and the mom's crying and she's telling us a story, and he's so connected to Winter's story. Long story short, they left and we didn't think we'd see him again. And last I heard, he's still alive today. A number of months later, he came back 2 months after that to visit us again, and the mom would literally say, Winter's helped keeping him alive. I can tell you that exact story hundreds of times. You know Stephanie's story. So just stories like that where we realize Winter's is beyond being cool, it's a life-changing story, and that's why I think a lot of you guys wanted to come back for the second movie too.
It's so amazing. I can't believe that I was able to be a part of something so inspiring.
So we'll do a few more questions, is that okay?
Sure.
And then what we're gonna do is, guys, by the way, guys, our goal is to reach a lot of people on social media, so any pictures you take today, get it out to all your friends. Our goal is to reach 2 billion people today. 2 billion. I'm kidding, guys. We have big goals, but we'll try and do that. Who has cystic fibrosis right here? You two, right? You got your brothers? What are their names?
You guys are so inspiring.
What's that? We'll see you guys afterwards, okay? We talk to you guys afterwards, is that cool? All right, where are you guys from? St. Louis. Make sure I see you afterwards, okay? We'll do that, cool. Good to have you guys here. All right, questions, here you go. Who is not asking a question? I'm gonna go back here and get back to the chickens in the back rows here. Like, how about an adult question? Here you go.
Does the ring on your left hand have any meaning?
Oh yeah, the ring on my left hand is a purity ring as a promise to my Lord. Yeah.
You're not married then?
No,
I'm
well,
just
no.
making sure. You got social media going. I want to be careful.
Yeah. Yes, guys,
Great.
I've been married for years.
Is that Sawyer? Oh no, I'm not going to go. That's an old joke. Very good.
What's Rufus's real name?
What's Rufus's real name? Well,
Rufus's real name, well, Rufus is played by 2 pelicans in the first movie and 2 different pelicans in the second movie. In the first movie, it was Ricky and Lucy. In the second movie, Peggy and Al Bundy, for parents out there who would know.
Yeah. We did not name them, trust me.
Yeah, we did not name them.
But the primary pelican we have now is named Ricky. Is at CMA right now. So the real Rufus is Ricky right now at the aquarium. So let me walk back here. A few more questions.
How many movies have you directed in?
Well, I didn't direct. I'm a producer on the movies.
What's hilarious is David Yates directed Harry Potter movies, so it's not the same guy, although he did try to trick his children when he was younger, going, guys, you know, I've been away for work and this is what I was doing, and then they were like, oh.
So here's what's funny is, so the guy named David Yates, he stole my name. He's directing Harry Potter movies, right?
Thief.
But I also work with Warner, who made Harry Potter movies? Warner Brothers. So I work with Warner Brothers, so I go up to the Warner Brothers security desk about 3 years ago with the guys from Alcon, and you have to show your IDs. And I pull out an ID that says David Yates, and I'm like, security, who's this guy? I have the same name, so that you might be thinking of him. I produced Iron Man shows back in the 90s. I was the CEO of the Iron Man Triathlon Company back in the 90s. So I produced shows on NBC, TV, but not movies. So, right, who's not asking a question? How about over here? Go to this side real quick. All right, here you go. You look excited. Ready to go? Got a good question for me? All right.
What was the hardest thing about working in Dolphin Town?
Hardest thing about working Dolphin Town? Hardest thing
Well,
to do?
I have a question for you guys. For those of you who are 12 and under, how long do you think a 12-year-old is allowed to work on a set every day? Raise your hand and I'll call on you. How long do you think? Okay, we have 1 bid for 3 hours. What about you? 4. What about you? 6. 9.5 is how long you can work when you're 12. When you're 16, you can work 10.5, and then once you test out of high school legally, you can work unlimited hours starting at 16. So you can work a really, really long time. So I would say the hours are the hardest thing because you only get 3 hours to do your schoolwork out of the 9.5. So you have to try to get all your schoolwork in. And those hours are spread out throughout the day. They're not just 3 solid hours. They're like 20-minute blocks, 40-minute blocks in between scenes. So it's a really, really long day, but if you love it, like I do, like there's absolutely no place you'd rather be. Like literally, pretty much no place you'd rather be.
It's really fun to watch because obviously it's almost like a schizophrenic date in a sense. If you're going from being in a serious scene.
Yeah, you're like, Dad, how could you do this to me? All right, biology, here we go.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you're eating, and so it's just, I mean, it's very schizophrenic. You have to be very focused, but then all of a sudden you're talking to friends or you're doing your homework. Crazy day. So let me go back a little bit further back here, and then we'll start wrapping up. And what we're gonna do, guys, in a few minutes, we're gonna close, and we're gonna have autographs and pictures back here. I'll tell you about that in 1 second, so don't leave yet. Let's go back here to the second row. Very good.
Can I take a picture with you?
You can do it over there when we get done. We're having pictures and autographs over here, okay? By the way, take all the pictures you want now for while she's up here. Get it on social media, reach all your friends, and I'm gonna go all the way back here. Cozi, be okay for a few more?
Yeah, I'm totally good.
All right, we haven't stumped her yet, guys. Let's try and stump her. Here we go.
How do you handle school and acting at the same time?
I don't get a lot of vacations. Christmas vacation is like 3 days, 4 days. Thanksgiving is like non-existent, you know, except for just Thanksgiving Day. You just kind of do it when you can. Like I'm schooling through the summer, I'm doing government and French 3, you know, just like, you just keep going. You know, it's what you love to do, and obviously you can't get it all done. Like I'm a senior in high school. I can't get all my senior work done in 3 hours on set, so you just have to make allowances elsewhere, you know.
All right, last question over here, all the way on this side. Here you go, buddy, you're up.
How is Winter?
How is
Winter is doing awesome. She loves making new friends, so you guys are a joy to her every day.
She's spoiled.
She's doing great, and so's Hope. Yeah.
We call her our dolphin diva. So guys, here's the deal. We're gonna do pictures. There's gonna be 1 picture, 1 autograph per group, please, over here. So we'll start that in just a few minutes. The line's over here. So 1 picture, 1 autograph. If you want to get the CD or the film, Where the Dolphin Can, you can buy them in the store. You can buy them over here. We'll do that. But guys, thanks for being here. Cozi, you want to close?
Hi guys, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.